you know about that weakness, turn it into a strength. How about that? For real, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what the beauty and value of understanding one's birth chart is. But anyways, yeah, so there is this contradictive energy where it's like, because it's like where it's like due to the personal experiences I've gone through, for because like the way that the fourth house influences the first house, that's also a square. You know what I'm saying? Due to my fourth house experience, 'cause I have my fourth house in well, Sagittarius, Capricorn. This was, yes, Sagittarius, right? So it's squares, right? So those influences and energies of that square kind of creates this layering influence, you know what I'm saying, in my personal life. Meaning, because all right, growing up, my father's moon was in Capricorn, meaning that the way that his moon synchronized to my chart, it's kind of like the way that his seven chakras synchronized with my seven chakras, and thus our influence. Because that's, I'm talking about synastry right now. You know what I'm saying? It was in my fourth house. You know what I'm saying? So I was receiving a lot of for like Capricorn energy through my father's moon, which is not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because the moon is debilitated in Capricorn. Capricorn is a sign of nurturing, caring, and loving. So we'll just say I was experiencing the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So because I was receiving that energy, even though that's not in my chart per se, because it was from like the fathers, you know what I'm saying? So there was this craftsman and this crafting and this energy that that came into my personal life, you know, having experiences in the family life, being squared to my first house, personal life. And that played out on the larger scale of my first house, 10th house, square. Cause for a minute, you know, I had like cause what Capricorn does through Saturn is it kind of deprives you of oxygen, whether that be emotionally, whether that be because Capricorn, I mean Saturn is just poverty on all planes, you know what I'm saying? So there was this energy of like over critiquing myself, because that's how the negative attribute of Virgo comes into play. Over critiquing myself specifically about my abilities, you know, and how I can help humanity, you know what I'm saying? And like my skills, 'cause that's my Mars in Sagittarius. That's another story. In the third house, that's another story, you know what I'm saying? And so there's this energy of squaring, you know what I'm saying, that happens between my first house, me as a person, versus my son, which is me and the character I'm creating, the CEO or whatever, and the energies I'm getting ready to express. There's contradicting energy of like, all right, I see it and I know I can do it, but due to these experiences I've had through my father's moon Capricorn energy, because that's what you guys need to understand. That's why actually personally, that's why I love interacting with the others, with women, right? Why do I have to say the other sex? With a woman, because as an astrologer, you know what I'm saying, I know how this woman or that woman is going to affect and influence me according to her synastry. And so I typically, you know, I guess on one end, I do go and pick it out, but then at the same time, it's like if I synchronize with a woman or even just with the person in general, then I'll understand like well the reason why I brought up with the women is it's because when you synchronize with people, you guys' energies condition each other. It can be harmonious or it can be negative. If I interact with the Virgo person, let's say someone that has a Virgo stellium, um we'll have a harmony because I have my Virgo rising, you know what I'm saying? I have my rising sign in Virgo. But for the most part, there will be certain things that will frustrate each other upon, you know what I'm saying? And that we'll need to learn how to get comfortable with each other, understand each other's styles, you know what I'm saying? Um, because it's the same modality, just different element, different style. So that's what we'll need to do. Um, but it's like a lot of people don't even know that that's what's going on, so they prematurely cut friendships and relationships short, rather than knowing how to work on them and knowing what the root of the issue is, you know what I'm saying? Like a Virgo and a Pisces squaring each other. My bad, that's an opposition. Pisces is the sign of the dream world, you know, imagination, illusionary. So Pisces is more inclined towards the what ifs, you know, dreaming, daydreaming, fantasizing. Pisces will sleep all day. You know, I'm a Gemini, you know what I'm saying? So that's probably why I got that little fiery energy when I talk about Pisces sleeping around all day. Pisces and will just be cool with sleep, with sitting around sleeping all day. But really just escaping into their imagination, you know what I'm saying? Into the imaginative world. Whereas Virgo, and you gotta understand that because Pisces is exalted in Venus, the planet that in all ways rules laziness, Venus, laziness. There's a reason why that should sound similar. These two planetary alignments, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Pisces' exaltation in Venus reveals that, yeah, Pisces can be lazy, you know, they just want to sit around, chill out, you know what I'm saying? Being their mind, being their head. Virgo does not like that. Virgo is a practical sign that's hands-on, that's technical, that wants to get up and work. Keyword work, you know, it's a sign of labor. Around Virgo season is September, you know, this is the season of harvest, you know what I'm saying? Where all the fruits from the hard work has come to yield a yield, you know what I'm saying? A yield, yeah. Yeah. So that's what Virgo is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the square is. You know what I'm saying? And like Gemini and Pisces. So it's important to understand this because when you understand this, you create better relationships. Um, yeah, you just create better relationships or you improve the relationships you're already in. And on top of that, you gain a better awareness of how it is that you're, maybe you were raised by your older sister. So you understand how that relationship played out or how your relationship with your mother played out, your relationship with your father, your sister, your sibling, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Relationship with everybody. That's how deep, obviously synastry goes, you know what I'm saying? You get to know how you interact with every single person. That's why even though I offer astrology services, like I offer synastry readings, I offer transit readings, I offer birth chart readings, and if you haven't gotten your birth chart reading, this is like the universe giving you an opportunity to do so. Because yeah, I promise you you're missing out. You're missing out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways, so the cool thing about that is yeah, once you understand the yeah, that's what I was saying. Although I do offer all those services, Um, my primary service I like to promote are my courses because I want to teach astrology. Eventually, I'll have live Zoom classes and I'll keep them like around $20. You know what I'm saying? 20 to like $20 and we'll have it like once a week or so. And so there will be a recording of the class, of course, and all that good stuff. And the value of the class is it'll be interactive as well. You know what I'm saying? I have created many curriculums. Like in order for me to have courses and create courses, I had to learn how to make curriculums. You know what I'm saying? So I have a good understanding of teaching, you know what I'm saying? Earlier I was talking about my ninth house stellium and how naturally from the stars, like I'm just in that element and energy, but from a technical, logical perspective too. Taking courses on how to like teach properly like yeah, I'll leave it at that, y'all know what I'm saying. I'll leave it at that, y'all know what I'm saying. But yeah, so yeah, although I do those services, I would recommend you learning astrology for yourself because then it's so powerful when you have it as an inventory in your box of tool your yeah as an inventory in your tools, right, we'll say as a tool in your inventory, that's how you say it properly. So pretty much there was a grand trine. When I came to America, I just recently recognized it, but there was a grand trine, specifically in the air element, meaning that, so, well, my bad, so it was in the air element, because that's why I threw myself off just now. It was in the air element, but in the fire houses, you know what I'm saying? Which is a reverse, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, yeah, it's a reverse. Yeah. Okay, so pretty much it's a trine between the moon, the sun, and my transit moon. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how the zero percentages here. I'm gonna look at it real quick. Well, no, no, not no, 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 no. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, wait, I'm wrong, but I'm never wrong. I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, from my understanding, there was a shrine in the sky. I'll put it up so you guys can see it. You know what I'm saying? And so, when there's a shrine in the sky at any time, you know what I'm saying? It signifies a gateway in an opening that is going to replicate greater harmony. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, greater harmony. And so, in so many ways, if you think of it, yeah, coming from I don't know, would it be considered a third world country? You know what I'm saying? Like a civil riddled country like continent. The thing about Africa is it's a continent, and it has countries in it. Some countries in Africa are actually doing a good job moving into the modern, like, I think that Africa, just give it time and they'll get their ish together, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I can understand that trine in regards to, hold on, I also want to make sure, so I can add details. I want to make sure I have it in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can understand that trying, within the firehouses. Because, see, what the firehouses signify and represent is they represent life experiences in general. The first house represents and signifies your personal life experiences. How it is that you process, and not per se how it is that you process, but you got to understand the houses are containers. You know what I'm saying? And then the planets and the signs, you can say like that the planets are different liquids, and then the sign is like, um for this analogy to work, we'll say that the signs are like clear liquids, and I mean the planets are clear liquids, you know what I'm saying? And the house is the container which this clear liquid is being poured into. And then the sign is the color that is being poured into the liquid. So yeah, keyword, remember that the house is just a container. So your first house contains or is the environment, right? The area of life that deals with your personal life, personal experiences, just how you go through personal things. This is you behind doors. Like, let's say you go through something crazy and then you're like, you act and respond to it and you're like, oh my God, excuse me, I have to go behind doors real quick. Like, that's so your moon energy because it's an emotion based energy. But to an extent, once you're behind doors and like you're by yourself, and the way that you choose to deal with what now is a personal issue is your ascendant, your first house. Like me, for instance, I'm a Virgo rising. So for me, anytime there's a personal issue, I take the lens of practicalization. I practicalize. And I think like, all right, so how, and the thing is, I gained so much once I learned how to harmonize my squares, because I have Mercury square my ascendant, Jupiter square my ascendant, and even my Sun square my ascendant. You know what I'm saying? So in the sign Gemini and Virgo, so it played out as anxiety, as fear, so it doesn't play out like that anymore. But that's how it would play out, which is a good example of me handling the issue within a personal life through the Virgo energy, because that's the negative quality of Virgo, being anxious, being fearful, assuming the worst. But then the positive aspect of Virgo is being more calm, being more practical, understanding what the worst truly can happen, being more grounded, you know what I'm saying? And trying to divert your energy not on things that you have no control over, but towards things that you do have control over. The practical lens, you know what I'm saying, of the Virgo ascendant. Correct me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's important. But so when I came to America, one thing in the sky that I noticed that I think is of value to discuss and talk about is and it's an exact trine, you know what I'm saying? I have my moon at 1 degrees Gemini, and when I came here, like when I stepped foot in American ground, you know what I'm saying? The sun was at 1 degree Libra, you know what I'm saying? So in the sky, I came here on September 20, I think 23rd, around that time. Libra, just Libra season fresh, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, a trine signifies a harmonious flow of energies, you know what I'm saying? And so what this would indicate and what this would dictate is okay, so the moon is like your comfort, your security. And it's funny because I say comfort and security because one of the first things I noticed when I came to America, honestly, was the food and the way that it tasted. Like, okay, like, so I have my sun. It's interesting because I have my sun. I mean, my bad. Because, yeah, I have my moon at 1 degrees Gemini. But you have to understand that that's a cusp. You know what I'm saying? That's like a Taurus Gemini cusp. But it's like beyond the central energies of Taurus. It's like you have to understand that. Why am I even talking about the moon and the sun? Because the thing about the sun aspect and the moon is those aspects were like short-term influences that I experienced when I was like a little. I guess like one thing I really liked was the food and the way that it tasted, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the sun is what I was seeing, you know what I'm saying? What I was being presented to. And my moon is how am I getting comfort from this? You know what I'm saying? How am I getting comfort from this? So I feel like I shouldn't even talk about that because this was kind of just me experiencing like being in a nice hotel, you know what I'm saying, and like tasting American food, which was like really different, and like watching TV. Like I remember I was really in that energy of enjoying because that's what a trine is, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, and so I shouldn't even be talking about that, you know, because that's a very short influence that only happened or took place around when I was 8, 7, you know, that was a long time ago. So I'm not even talk about that. What's really important though is the like, cause the transits of Pluto kind of leave a after effect, you know what I'm saying? Cause Pluto is the sign of transformation. So it's like in so many ways, due to wow, that's crazy. Because all right, look, because I'm gonna talk about my Pluto opposing Sagittarius, and then we'll finish the video. Well, this part of the video at least. So Pluto is in Sagittarius in the fourth house, opposing my Sun, which is in the 10th house, exactly, but also opposing my Jupiter and my Mercury, which are in the ninth house. You know what I'm saying? And so Sagittarius is a sign of culture. You know what I'm saying? So in so many ways, like the best way to explain this opposition is like the customs and the culture of this world and of this society, you know what I'm saying, was going to play out through a lens that was going to be very transformative for me, you know what I'm saying, for me and for my like for what I'm known for, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what the 10th house is. What's your, I want to say recognition or status, but in the deepest thing, my like in a sense legacy. The eighth house is more your legacy. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, my 10th house. You know what I'm saying? And it's like in so many ways, if you think about it, people in America are we have a greater freedom of thought. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand that the opposition was in Sagittarius, so it was like all of the hold on. So it's like, okay, Mercury is the planet that deals with thinking and logic, you know what I'm saying? And then Jupiter is the planet that deals with religion and wisdom and understanding. And it's like one thing that growing up I used to always hear, you know what I'm saying, especially from my father was like, uh, you are forgetting or like where you came from, you know what I'm saying? Like this culture is changing you, you know, in a bad way. But it's like the reason why I'm saying this is because that is the Pluto Sun opposition because your sun is your identity and who you are. And it's like that was one of the influences, you know, me changing and transforming. But then it's interesting because through Sagittarius, not Pluto, but through Sagittarius, later I got shot in my chest. You know, it was like, oh, really? All right, so right there, it's the end of Sagittarius, right? Which is 28 degrees Sagittarius. But then, when I got shot in my chest in the sky, uh, the sun was 0 degrees Libra, the moon was 0 degrees Aquarius, and then Saturn was 0 degrees Sagittarius. So, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Spooky. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, the Sagittarius energy. And the reason why the Sagittarius energy is very influential to me, and when powerful planets like Saturn or like Pluto or like Jupiter, even to an extent, because Jupiter is at home in Sagittarius, so Jupiter is not going to negatively influence me, unlike Saturn, which is a malefic planet. And because mind you, I got shot when the when like damn, because I don't want to say I got shot because of the planets. 'Cause that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is planets are signs. You know, they signify and they direct us towards things, whether that be events or places. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, pretty much so that's what I know and that's what I understand. And so that's pretty much what I've been going through, you know what I'm saying? This transformation and this change revolving around my identity even and who I am. In the realm of what people are comfortable with, what people are comfortable with in the lens of Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying? And because I really do play out that transformative energy. Because I feel like it's not only because even in my birth chart, do I have? Hold on, let me look real quick. Is it at 50? It's at 13 degrees. Okay, so I don't have in my birth chart. I have Pluto opposed Saturn. So the way that that energy plays out is me kind of opposing Saturn, which is government, which is structure, well, which is the way that structure is. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real deep thing too. You know, I don't want to get sucked into that too much. But yeah, I hope that I kind of did a good job explaining it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk one last time about the Pluto Sun opposition. So my sun is in Gemini, right? So this is thought energy. This is me willing This is me willing things into existence through my thought. That's what that's what the sun in Gemini placement is. It's me willing, because the sun is willing things into existence through my thought, because Gemini is thought, into the domain of politicians, businessmen, people of great status and understanding, you know what I'm saying? Not understanding, but recognition, but understanding too, because that ninth house, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what that is, right? But then it's like, it's also the transformative experiences in general that I've had regarding that house, the fourth house. that's going to transform and change me because I've had a lot of experiences, you know what I'm saying, in regards to my home life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I came from Africa to America, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it was all cool until I came to America, and that was when I started having real negative experiences in the home, you know what I'm saying? Like, very platonic experiences, like where, um, like at a young age, I was taken away, and like put through a CPS thing, you know what I'm saying? Because by the age around the age of 10, like I broke not broke into a house. I stole pencils from like school, and then um and I was a troublemaker. I did a lot of things. I'm not justifying anyone's actions though, you know what I'm saying? And so after this, you know what I'm saying, I got choked, you know what I'm saying? But the grander story, because I don't like to just tell my story, like, was my father, who like choked me. I thought I was gonna die, like legit, like Homer Bart style, legit, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. And this was like we just came to America, you know what I'm saying? So it was like our customs and our understandings and everything like that opposed opposed this land's understanding and culture, you know what I'm saying? What was And that was also another thing I saw, right? I saw a lot of what I was being told through the lens of religion, Muslims specifically, being like disregarded, right? Which is another example of Pluto squaring. So all this information is actually information for me. I don't know if you guys are benefiting from it, but the more I talk about it, the more I realize I need to go deeper into it. But for me, I don't know if you're gaining any value from it, but because it helps me better understand my experiences and what I went through, and it reminds me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you understand what you went through and how it shaped and molded you, then you can become a more powerful ship. I mean, pilot of your ship. You know what I'm saying? Because it's less random. You have an understanding of where you've been, so you know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say like aside from anything else, like that was pretty much the one thing that I noticed. And there are a lot of other things as well that are going to be of importance for me to recognize and understand. Like I think I should talk. I talked about the Pluto pose, my 10th house. It's also kind of like Pluto transiting the 4th house. Sheesh, that is crazy. All right, because check this out. Pluto is the sign of hidden things, right? Sagittarius is the sign of philosophy, religion. So Pluto and Sagittarius is hidden philosophy, hidden religion. So we can say Mason, you know what I'm saying? Or Illuminati, if you like that word better. Masons run the Illuminati, though. So right? So Pluto and Sagittarius, like, 'cause Sagittarius, I mean, Pluto rules brotherhoods, fraternities, like Masonry, you know what I'm saying? So, y'all know I just realized something real quick talking about that. It's a real deep thing though. Like, you mother truckers, is that what you guys really did? Because They're not they're not above using the star alignments to practice some witchcraft on you. And they know who we are, and they track, you know what I'm saying? Like they keep trackmanship of who's coming down here, who our birthdays, even like your social security. You have to understand, and shout out to Dolo the pilot man, because he explained some things, and then I went and I looked at my social security and I saw how it's synchronized with my numerology and my birth chart, but in an opposite negative way. And I was like, oh, hell nah, you funky ass Yoda looking Masonic fools. I wasn't even into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even into it right now. But yeah, so that, you know what I'm saying, in the 4th house. So, like, if you think about it, what we call America, the corporation we call America, is really a thought, a Mason's thought. You know what I'm saying? Well, beyond the thought, because above Gemini, Sagittarius are opposite to Gemini, Sagittarius. Sagittarius is sight, vision, one's philosophy, one's religion. So we have America, right, which is the fourth house, because the fourth house is the home, the house energy, you know what I'm saying? Pluto, because I also had Jupiter in the fourth house too, which is more of a benefic energy, more of a benefic travel, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess what I was trying to say is that exact opposition can signify and indicate, I think the reason why it's not coming out is I think this is information I probably shouldn't share publicly. Like, you can, decipher it on your own if you know how. But yeah, I'll just keep that behind doors, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, like we're talking about fourth house, because when the fourth house is a private house, you know what I'm saying? So private affairs. So maybe that's why it's yeah. Anyways, because I'm intuitive, so I intuit and I just pick up on energies. And sometimes, because I'm also Gemini stellium, and Gemini is mutable air, mutable energy. Sometimes I mold and adapt to what I'm interacting with. You know what I'm saying? And so I was interacting with the opposition in the fourth house. So I kind of became a little more private in my own energy, if that makes sense, because of that mutableness. But anyways, I'll be back, and next we'll look at um when I was so we just looked at the events that happened to me when I was 7. You know what I'm saying? I came to America. We traveled to America. Which is reflective in the fact that I have Jupiter in the fourth house. You know what I'm saying? Me and my family collectively traveled to America. Jupiter is in the fourth house in Capricorn. Hence, the means of travel wasn't as pleasant, but more so refugee related, you know what I'm saying, and government related. There were a lot of documentations, Capricorn, Saturn energies, things, you know what I'm saying? And then I also had, well, I mean, Saturn was also in the 12th house in the sign Virgo. And essentially, the 12th house, you know what I'm saying, is the house that it rules other things, amongst which refugees and escapism is one of. Like, the 12th house is the house of imprisonment, it's the house of bondage. It's like those individuals who are in war-riddled countries and they seek to escape and be free, and just break away, they're in bondage and they seek freedom. And that's a 12th house related thing. And those who find escape, you know what I'm saying, are people, yeah, those who find escape, damn, what the fuck? Because I'm learning so much about like who was involved even, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how deep it gets. But yeah, so that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like Saturn is in the 12th house in Virgo, so it's a harsh, backwards energy, difficult energy, you know what I'm saying? Damn, what the, are you serious? Like, do you know what that means? Saturn in the 12th house in Virgo? Like, damn, that's crazy. But anyways, that's just all information for me, you know what I'm saying? Because this is my chart for me to better understand and know my experiences. But yeah, pretty much, like I have Jupiter trine, and it's a tight exact trine too. Jupiter trine my Venus. So Jupiter trining my Venus, you know what I'm saying? It's interesting how like even though we traveled, because this is the Venus Jupiter trine, I'm gonna explain through an experience I had, you know what I'm saying, as we're traveling. Even though we traveled in like a van across a span, it took days, you know what I'm saying, of barren land, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing around us. And there was like a bunch of us and we didn't have any food. Like the most, it's weird because like the most prevalent remembrances of that travel, you know what I'm saying? But also even like me just coming to how do I explain this? It's most high layered, you know what I'm saying? I can't even just talk about that little experience I had. Where it was like pleasantness, like 'cause I primarily remember like the food that I ate traveling, coming here to America, right? Is that weird? I remember the food that I ate and how good it was. I remember eating ice cream in Africa and it was good too. I remember eating an apple and that was good. Now I'm talking about Venus, Jupiter trine. So that's like just that's just more so the fact that the goods of this plane, I mean of this country, because I said the fourth house can signify home from the lens of one's country, like so like a foreigner who goes from one land to another land and that becomes their new place of home. That is fourth house energy. It's ninth house energy too, and that's why like okay, because I have Saturn in the 12th house aspecting. I think I'll just say this. Because I have a stellium in the ninth house, like none of the transiting planets were in the ninth house, but they were all making influences to my ninth house. So the experiences I was having were ninth house related, traveling pretty much related, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like so Saturn, I mean Jupiter is debilitated. It's not where it wants to be, you know what I'm saying? So it's more so like negative. So it's not even a positive thing. Like coming to America, it's like okay from the homeland because where Jupiter is, it's like a land. All right, so what is Jupiter in Capricorn? See when Jupiter goes into Capricorn, it's almost an energy of like 2020 when we went through 2020, Jupiter was in Capricorn. So it kind of felt like everything was hitting the fan and people may not have had hope or faith. Like there was just weird energies of faith. I want to say like when Jupiter goes into Capricorn, there's this energy of feeling like God is harder to reach, you know what I'm saying? And so Jupiter and Capricorn showing me um on the birth on the chart, not the birth chart, but the chart of the day I came. Jupiter being in Capricorn shows me that Jupiter being in Capricorn in my fourth house shows me that I came to a land where there's no God. That's pretty much what it literally means. But yet, simultaneously, the negative things in this world, right? I mean, in this world, in this country, when I say world, I mean America, are conducive and harmonious to my Venus placement, which is in the eighth house. So me having my Venus in the eighth house, like that's kind of already toxic, you know what I'm saying? Like the way that I find pleasure and enjoyment in certain things, it can be toxic and negative, you know what I'm saying? I may find pleasure in certain things that I may need to put death in. Simultaneously, I might find pleasure and enjoyment in things that may put death and transformation to me, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that though, so like knowing that, right? I know that Venus primarily deals with like your relations with like not just the opposite sex, but mostly we'll say the opposite sex because it's like that's when we get more in our Venus energy, when we can enjoy ourselves more, right? Whether it's through flirting or showing affection. It's like for me having those experience like Venus in the eighth house energy is like I've had experiences with women, where like the first girlfriend I truly had, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, this is just bad, but I was like, okay, I was 19, she was 29. She was like a model, she was gorgeous, and she had a really nice, bubbly personality, just 10 out of 10, low key. And she was a Gemini like me. And so, like, honestly, breaking up with her, like, I had dreads and I cut them off, you know what I'm saying? And like that night when I left, I felt like I was in Cali, you know what I'm saying? I was around like the train. Like I would never kill myself, but I had suicidal thoughts. I knew I wouldn't have done it because I was already one of the reasons why I was a 19-year-old with this gorgeous 29-year-old, you know what I'm saying? It was honestly because of my intellect and my mind. Like when you look at my birth chart and you look at my ninth house stellium and you look at the conjunctions and trines between the intellectual planets, you realize that my intellect is beyond this world. It's just me, my energy, my essence, my being. You know what I'm saying? And then I have that moon Saturn conjunction, which made me grow up fast through harshness and like having to raise myself low key. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's another reason why I attract older women. But like yeah, when I had that experience with her, I was attracted to her beauty, right? You gotta understand, that's Venus and Taurus. Taurus is attracted to beauty, you know what I'm saying? And then she was kind of dark. Her name was Lynette, but she called herself Lilith, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was kind of dark. Like she didn't just call herself Lilith, but she has some dark attributes and qualities about her. You know what I'm saying? And so that's all my Venus in the eighth house, which is actually not a good placement. I've dated some women that for most men they'd be like, yes. Well, let me put it like this. A lot of the women I date, I typically have to play that role of healing because the eighth house is a house of really nigga. Because the eighth house is a house of healing, of transforming and growth, you know what I'm saying? So typically when I'm in a relationship, I do have to help them transform and put death to certain things. Like, nah, you can't think like that towards me. Like, I'm okay. I remember because some of the women that I attract, because I have that 10th house sun in the 10th house, so status is something of importance. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't mean to sound like um I don't know bigoted or whatever, but a beautiful woman can be a symbol of status. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Like having a beautiful woman by your side beats having nice Jordans on your feet. You know what I'm saying? So for just that's not even what I'd be on though. It's just how my 10th house plays out. So typically my women are like symbols of success because they're beautiful and like everyone wants them. You know what I'm saying? But it's like all right. So with a lot of these beautiful women they'll get entangled with me even if they're toxic sometimes because they see that I have way more to offer than all these other men, you know what I'm saying? Like resources, I've always kept money, I've always had money with me, you know what I'm saying? Knowledge, intellect, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a jester or clown, but I am entertaining, you know what I'm saying? I'm a good vibe, you know what I'm saying? All these different things. So yeah, um but at the same time, it's like certain gorgeous women, they can feel entitled. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was kicking it with DB, right? That's her name. And we were out, and she was doing something, and I was like, "Hey, stop doing that." And she was like, innocent or entitled energy. She was a little brat, low key. You know what I'm saying? I could do whatever I want. And I was like, I looked at her, right, like in the eyes and everything, right? And I was like, "That's true, but I forgot what I said word to word, but I was like, you can go do it over there. Like you can go do whatever you want. You can go do whatever you can do whatever you want, but gotta go do it over there, not over here. I don't know how I said it. It was definitely more smooth, but the point was like, yeah, you could do whatever you want, but you're around me right now, so you better act right, lady. You know what I'm saying? But and that's even like just me knowing my placement, okay? Like when you know your placements, you also know how you can interact with people, you know what I'm saying? Because I have that sun in the 10th house, I tend to command things. I tend to even if it's a stranger, I tend to put myself in that position where like when I say command things, I mean like I speak, I don't ask, I tell, you know what I'm saying? Like assertively. But anyways, that's a story for another time. So yeah, that is this video and next we will be breaking down September. Okay, you guys. So it's a trine. It's before I conclude, it's a trine, it's a harmonious flow between my fourth house and um my eighth house, Venus and Jupiter. But overall, it's not really a negative. I mean, it's not really a positive. It's a negative because all these things that I'm now being given opportunity to enjoy, right, and find great fulfillment in, because a trine. is enjoyment. It's Venus energy. And both Jupiter and Venus, I mean, yeah, both Jupiter and Venus are benefic planets. So it's like all of this enjoyment energy, but too much Venus is not good. It's lost, laziness. But it's like one thing that, I indulged and got into enjoying was like, I'll give an example. Um, honestly, was like smoking weed, but that was very like, yeah, that's a real good example because it was actually my habit of smoking weed. The way that I used to do it, because now I use it, not abuse it. You know what I'm saying? But like as a child mind, I got addicted to it, and it was that which led to me getting shot in the chest. You know what I'm saying? And that's an eighth house Venus in the eighth house example, Venus and Taurus in the eighth house example. Smoking weed gave me peace of mind, which is a very Taurus thing. It allowed me to feel senses, feel really good, feel good in my body, enjoy that piece of like food, piece of I was gonna say piece of meatloaf, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know why I would say that. Um, because I'm not even into meat like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't When I think of meat, and even at times in the past when I've tried to eat meat, I can't think past the fact that I'm probably eating a piece of flesh that's infested with cancer or something legit. Yeah, yeah. And you guys be seeing, right? The reports about how they had to like I think it's repo. They had to repo some meat because it was infested with some fucking you got me messed up. I think I just won't eat meat straight up. Like low key, honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like for sure. A lot of people are scared to be skinny. Like, man, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause me personally, all right, you gotta understand that I have a Gemini stellium, air, 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 air. You know what I'm saying? So of course, and even my Virgo is rising. So I am somewhat skinny, but that's just the Gemini build. You know what I'm saying? Most Geminis were like slender and skinny, airy, like you know what I'm saying. But anyways, that's what we'll do. Oh yeah, I was talking about that. So yeah, like my enjoyment of smoking weed and how that led to me dying. But it was a deeper thing. And we'll get into later, you know what I'm saying, in the next section. So I enjoyed smoking weed and it was very synchronized. The reason I enjoy it very synchronizes with my Taurus. The pleasures I look for very much synchronized with my Taurus, my Venus and Taurus in the eighth house. Important eighth house, you know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that through me enjoying something, I get led to death. But it's like that's Venus in the eighth house in Taurus, so it's not a good thing. And it's like that's where I need to learn to create discipline and structure around, moderation energy around my pleasures, what I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the things that can lead to my death. And it doesn't always have to be a physical death, but as it has happened, it could be a physical death too. But yeah, I'll be back. Peace. Namaste.